Okay, so the current situation around the fuel supply factors, I think it's got so much of the, you know, elements that are actually to be outlined from there. One of the biggest issues is the unstable system of trying to work around cost factors, which comes on a monthly basis. So the monthly review cost calculator is one of the biggest elements that is leading the playing to this aspect. Then secondly, it can also have some element of cartel, where we do not have a stable way in which the healthy relationship between supply and many other actors in the fuel value chain is also working in harmony. I think that is also one element which needs to be also undertaken to just critically look at it and assess from that basis. So there can also be some political spotlight into the supply chain. Then the other aspect is the human element of planning. In terms of planning, I think we have not been able to do the proper planning. Consider that we have even got even another challenge of energy situation, which basically is working with the electricity component. So what I would say is that the human factor in terms of trying to work around fuel system is what need to underpin into this aspect of what we are able to see. So we need to restructure the market so that it can actually work around creating that positive development and nature. Then the other aspect is also to see how we can land some of these cost issues of, maybe say, the aspect to do with the Zimbabwe situation, Mozambique situation, and many others. So I think we need also to create that harmony around the region so that we can actually create a good level of harmony around the regional trade as well. So that is also one of the elements that is required to be working from that perspective. So now the other aspect that I think we are not doing enough in terms of trying to plan around production. If we can basically look at the way things are happening, we can see that the production pipeline is actually suffering, owing to that we do not have the good element to work with the future projection and advanced thoughts around how we should be able to sustain this commodity. By this time, we should have built reservoirs to actually store even up to 1 month, but nothing has happened as of now. So all these factors are also interplaying into what we're able to see. So the best here is that we should be able to find a common ground, maybe from different economic players in the industry, and also from the stakeholders as government. We need to find a striking deal in terms of how we can sustain fuel. Otherwise, it's so shameful for us to have a fuel challenge, then we have also electricity deficit. It's not something that is adding up. We need to find a best way we can actually moderate all these factors. Otherwise, it will also have a strong amperage, or even the factor to do with the growth pattern will be hampered from all these factors. Because you see, even when we have planned to say we have projection of this much at the end of it all, and then we find ourselves in the midst of what we are trying to see, it also tells us to say, are we doing enough work for us to actually do what we should be able to do? Perhaps questions can also be raised from different points. So it's high time we need now to start looking at how best can we moderate a factor that can really bring something substantial on the table. And it's cause for us now to start putting a resolute minds to see how we can work around this situation. So from what I see, I think the fuel situation has got a lot of compendium of cases that need to be looked at, but much of what we're able to see sitting on the table are human aspect of errors, which we need now to actually see how we can unlock all these factors. Yeah.
You described monthly reviews as hand to mouth. What exactly did you mean?
You see, the aspect of trying to have that monthly cost calculator based on the monthly review cycle, I think that most like it's hand to mouth, basing on the fact that we basically just import what we want to consume. We do not have a futuristic model to marshal for us to have a way we can sustain this production or this fuel input. If we basically have a component of importing enough feedstock on fuel to actually even look at a longer period, for example, maybe even 2-3 months, or even a month would be enough for us to actually work around that. But what we basically do is importing a little bit of volume, then that also translates directly into the consumption. Well, what we know is that Zambia is using about 3.8 million liters of diesel per month, per day. Then we're also using about 1.8 million liters per day on petrol. So I think that simple calculation can help us to even just understand how we can work around buffering enough stock, so that should it happen that we have a situation where we have external shocks happening on our fuel pricing on the global market, we're able now to sustain and give a best resolute toward this issue. So we need to model a system where we can have enough reservoir to actually even warrant more of the storage capacities, and ensure that we actually navigate this situation. I think it just requires that we need to look at a futuristic model around this issue, and it will call for us to to just see how best we can work around all these pieces together.
Mr. Sanga, thank you so much for speaking.
Thank you so much. Then the other aspect